What is up, you guys? Happy Monday! And this episode of It's Monday Talk, I'm gonna do it a little different. I'm doing like a more interview style. I've never done it before, but on my Zoom call, I have Mr. Josh Lee Radke. Josh Lee is actually from my hometown, Worthington, Minnesota. So a little background: this guy, he's into fitness. He's a fitness guy, and he travels. A young 22-year-old guy from a small town, self-employed, has been self-employed since age 18, and right now he has a successful business going on with I think World Ventures. We'll get into it, but yeah, right now this is who he is. He's from a small town, and this is who he is. Josh Lee, welcome.
What up, man? How are you?
Good, man. Excellent, dude. Glad you took your time to be with me today for this call. So yeah, so let's get into it. Let me we're from the same small town, but like I got to know you actually literally 3 years ago. I didn't know
Yep.
you lived in my hometown.
Yep.
I didn't know you lived there. So like yeah. So tell me like so your background. So like what did you do like prior like during high school and during the young times?
Yeah, so I actually originally started working at Fairway, like the grocery store back home in Worthington, Minnesota. And I started there my senior year, I believe, in high school. I just, still was at home, living under my parents' roof, getting that free food. We all love that mom and dad's free food. I did that, and it's just a great way for me just to be around people. I'm people, I say people-bodied person, if that makes sense. Just
So
being
I
around that.
like that.
um, I did that, kind of excelled with that, meeting people, and one day, I'll be honest, out of the blue, my buddy reached out to me to work out with him, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, like I always loved working out. I've always seen pictures of people and working out in their progress. I'm like, I think I could see myself do this. And so one day out of the blue, I just, worked out with my buddy, and like it got me hooked on from then and there. And after work every day, like I started to work out, starting to see results. Is super great. So that's where I got my love for fitness. And eventually, I pursued a career in personal training as a personal trainer.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that. Like, what was it? What was
yeah,
it, the gym? Anytime Fitness or?
Yep, was Anytime Fitness, like literally right across the street. So, and I could go right away after work.
Gotcha. Did you get a certification, or were you like you just
Yep.
tell people, "Hey, I trained you," so
So yeah, no, that's right. It can't just be some bum off the street. You actually have to have a certification. I do have two certifications. My NCPTA. I'm not going to get in the technical jargon, and then my NASM. But basically, those just entail like kind of like every single different field. Like range from group classes to one-on-ones to online coaching to mentorship, anything that you can think of. That's all like listed with those certifications. So yeah.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Cool. So I see that you currently live in Kansas City, right?
Correct, I do.
Okay. Did you go to college at all, or did you
Yeah. So I
got into working right away, or?
yeah. So I actually, when I was working at Fairway, I was going to school at Minnesota West. Got my generals right away. Works full time. Went to school full time. It's a possibility. People said you can't do it, but you can. You just got to put your mind to it. Yeah, and I went to school, got my generals to take care of. And fun story, actually, a little bit backtracking. After I was done with school, I I quit that job, and then I went with a friend of mine, a mutual friend. I don't know, remember Raquel Berrigan? I can't remember her last
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Okay.
Yep, went with her to Australia, and we went with the group, and we spent 2 weeks in Australia together. It was super dope. And basically, actually, for some reason her name wasn't on her program, so she had to get sent home. So I was by myself with all these other strangers in a whole new country for 2 weeks. Pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie, because growing up in a small town, everybody knows each other. You always have
Yeah.
that connection. Being in a whole new country and actually just putting yourself out there, kind of like really opens your mind of like, holy fuck, I got to like get out of my comfort zone. And that's where I
Okay.
started to get out of my comfort zone. And
Gotcha.
yeah,
So segueing from comfort zone, why network marketing? So World Ventures is like you travel, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So why network marketing? We hear all these things, like these bad things about it, like what it is, and it's one of those things. Oh, what your pyramid scheme? What's the whole thing about? What made it successful for you?
Yeah, because like Jorge mentioned, excuse me, I started off at a young age. Like I quit that job at 18, traveled, and that's where I started to. Well, I did partner with a partner of mine at Anytime Fitness. We were kind of still self-employed contractors, but we just were with the gym. But we used it as a kind of like a tool to help expand both our fitness businesses and also like um, for kind of like, just personally for ourselves, because it was a way to like not only sure to create an additional stream of income, because nowadays we all know you feel like you're forced to have more income because the cost of living has gone up in every single town, whether it's small, big, or wherever you're at. And the idea of network marketing to me, I didn't understand it at first, but then, when I went to a training of ours, it opened my mind to show that, this shit works. Like I've heard success stories, how people started from literally small towns like myself and climbed their way to the top. They had their struggles. It wasn't one of those get rich quick scheme, one of the scenarios. It was a way for them to create more time for their family, more time for their, spouses, anything, if that makes sense. And I saw that in my mind of, I want to be the first one in my family to do that, to be the first one in my family to retire by I'm 30, and the first one to like, help my parents and my grandparents get out of debt. So that's
Gotcha.
my way of doing that instead of slaving my life away with,
Yeah.
9 to 5.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people speak vision like yourself
Yep.
about like, oh, like, I'm trying to get to like trying to do this, and like to some people they may not believe it yet.
Yeah.
Because they have not seen it, because they've only seen the negative side of it. What would you say to somebody that's actually like getting into that kind of thing where like it works? How do I like get started? Like me, like a simple business, like it could be a traditional business, or like just like being in an environment like that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to like the people who like you said, quick get quick rich schemes? Like
Yeah.
like
So to like how to when they first start off, who are already success, like they're starting to do great with it. To be honest, it's kind of like I'm saying like it's saying that we go by with not only our company, but like I use it in my personal life as well. Like, you got to pay attention, get excited, and never quit, because if you really do have a vision, you will do everything in your power. I mean, it's crazy how people want to start something. They have these visions like myself, but like 10%, heck no, let me rephrase that. Only 1% of that whole 99%, they have all that vision, but only 1% actually executes it. And that's why I say you got to pay attention. You got to get excited. You got to never quit, because we all have hardships. I'm not saying like I'm perfect, you're perfect. No one is perfect. Even like these top income earners in their companies, they're not perfect. Like they go through the same things that we've gone through. Like they make it personable. They want to make sure like anything you do is achievable. So my advice to people who want to start off with that, like especially like college students or high school students who are just starting to get out of high school, they don't know what to do. Because I'm not hating on education, Jorge. I know I'm kind of going to let you know that people who want to go to school, I support them. If that's the way that they feel like they want to become successful, go for it. Like, that's what their heart's telling them to do. But for those who want to like do something different, I'd say network marketing would be the best way to go, because there is so many different companies out there, ranging from traveling, like my company, like investments, or to lotions and potions and skincare products, or
yeah.
protein supplements. There's
I see a lot
everything
of
that you can think
I see
of.
a lot of people behind like they sell lashes, they
Yep.
sell like these other products, and at first people like the first instinct, oh, stop getting me into that thing. blah blah blah.
Hmm.
How about for some, like, I think we already covered it, but like for those how about somebody does want to get started? How
Yeah.
about they don't have any money or they're already settled down, like with like family? What would you say to somebody that like doesn't have any money? Because that's the biggest excuse out there. Where they say, "I don't got money and like I don't got time." What would you say to somebody like that? Like that,
Okay.
the
Well,
money excuse. That's what I
you
call
the oh the money excuse. Ooh, that's always
money
my
excuse.
favorite.
Yeah.
I personally, I break it down to them like, I tell them my story, like I was in that same boat when like, I will be honest, like nobody starts rich unless if, they're like lucky and they get inheritance from like kingdoms and shit. But, um, with that being said, like, people who don't have money, they usually either I'll be honest, spend their money on foolish things that is not valuable, that will not create, it's not like a income producing activity. Whereas, people who don't have money, they just don't know how to utilize their money and like what they can use with it. So I personally look at it this way, like I compare to my, like, people always love hearing stories of like how they were in their shoes and how they're personable and relatable, because you don't want to just be like, sure, like a cold market, for example, they don't know you and you just tell them where you come from. And that breaks the ice a little bit more to show that, hey, like this is actually, it works. It's available to happen. I will literally find a way to get the money to get started, because
Yeah.
if they're truly serious about it, they will get the money or they will find a way to get started. Hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, no, that's great because and I think everyone that does it should like at least just learn, like make extra money. You know, it creates thick skin. Like
Yeah.
really
Oh, it
thick
does.
skin. It creates thick skin. So
Yes.
what would you take? Well, okay, here's another one. The person that's in it, they're not
Hmm.
seeing results.
Okay.
They've been there for a while, but they know this could probably like change their life. What would be the first thing they should identify if they don't start getting results like within the first 6 months? What's that like first thing they should identify? Either like this is for them, may not be for them. Like what's one thing you think they should identify?
If their why is not strong enough, then it's not worth it to them. Like if your why is strong enough, you won't like quit. Like, yeah, I've struggled with my business, I'm not gonna lie. And I thought of my why, and my why was to, like, I mentioned to, like, I when I was training at a gym, when I partnered with my buddy, like he has a family, he has triplets, he has a wife. So, he had to take care of his family. So he stepped down. So I took on his role.
Gotcha.
Um, so oh shit, that was a working period. I was the definition of hustle and grind, and like, but it was great, because I was helping people create a lifestyle for them to create them to a healthier, happier place.
Gotcha.
I was, the manager, also on top of the trainer, on top of the maintenance man for this gym for Anytime Fitness back home. And I was working myself to death. Like I was working 6 days a week. I lived out of town. I worked from 5 a.m. to like 10 p.m. at night, because I wanted to make sure the members were happy, my clients were happy, the gym was well maintained, so we could produce more members to produce more clientele for me. And I I'm not gonna cry. I've learned to try to like mellow it out, but
Gotcha. See, guys. See, it's real feelings. It's real feelings. It's a process. Now, to end this, what is your why?
yeah,
What is
yeah.
your why to maybe somebody out there watching this to like get moving? It's the new decade.
Oh, well, if my face isn't showing, it's about to come out pretty soon. I apologize, but was to just create a better version for myself. And was, I'm not gonna lie, when I get out of bed, because I was 18, I was working myself to death, and like I could not get myself out of bed. My 50-year-old mom weighing 140 pounds had to try to get me out of bed. And I told myself, I need a blessing. I need to have something. I got on my knees and I begged and I prayed for something. And I got introduced to the company I'm in now, and it's literally created a whole new life for me. And it's also expanded my life with my partner, and also like created just better relationships, giving more tough skin with everybody.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome, man. Dude, I'm proud of you. I've seen your stuff. In 5 years, where will we see Josh Lee Radke? In 5 years. I know it's a long way, but
Well, I'd be closer to my retirement age, because my goal is that retire by 30. So
30. Gotcha, man. Awesome, man. So I think that's been 10 minutes or something.
Probably on some beach, man.
Some 10 minutes. But yeah, you guys. So this is Josh. We're from the same town. And if you guys like this kind of style of videos, let me know in the comments or like on Facebook, anywhere. Just let me know. I might continue doing something like this. Make sure to like subscribe, because I'm trying to grow this thing. I'm trying to grow this channel and like it, for I can know that you guys are enjoying this kind of content. And Josh, thank you so much for your time today about this whole thing. Like maybe somebody's out there, and like me personally, I'm in the same boat. And so everybody, follow Josh on Instagram. I'll put his link right here. Facebook, Snapchat too, or
sure. Why not?
Follow this guy. He's a good guy. Be inspired. He's a good guy. So like I usually end these guys. All right, kill the day in order for you to kill the week. Happy Monday, guys. All right, Josh. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, bro. Bye.